Watch out for cash money, cause we landing down. Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals. That's why I'm in the studio dropping hits, dropping rap after rap like you sell key after key. Backed up by the best fresh, dropping beat after beat. My clique is the hot boys, best believe we so high and dangerous if we in beef with the whole block. No fading us at all, player, cause we roll too deep. With AKs off safety, knocking busters off their feet. I go by the name WG. I ride on chrome and the 98 Lexi S3. I'll bust a dome for baby on this B3. Because I know one thing, he'll do the same for me. We family, cash money is a homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play a hit me, look here, it ain't gravy. Don't try to knock me, player, cause I'll leave your head stale. Light you up real good, you will never get well. Cash money is a homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play a hit me, for you it ain't gravy. Cash money is a homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play a hit me, for you it ain't gravy. I got a path that you don't want.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Boy, we're jamming. What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Had to take a little swig, throw a little dry. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Much love to everybody here, man. Thank y'all for being here. Much love to you, man. Konnichiwa and all that stuff there. On this edition, we're going to be talking a little bit about Saints training camp. The pads came on today. It's always an exciting time. Definitely exciting for fans because we know that football is right around the corner. And it's also exciting for head coach Dennis Allen. It's his favorite time of the year. We'll get into that. We're also going to be talking about an undrafted rookie that is making a splash at training camp, and Chase Young telling us something that we already knew, but just confirming it. But shouts out to everybody in the chat that's filing in right now. Thank you to you all. Shouts out to everybody that's listening at home, at work, wherever you are right now. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, you realize it's football season. You're excited about football season, excited about the Saints, want to know what somebody thinks about the Saints, and this is your first time checking out the State of the Saints podcast. First off, I really do appreciate it. And we're a very interactive podcast. I mean, one of the most interactive Saints podcasts you're ever going to find anywhere. And all you have to do, you don't have to donate a whole bunch of money. No. You ain't got to just go up here and just raise your hand. Oh, no. All you have to do is put them comments in the chat. Hey, what's going on? It's TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and we're about to do what it do, baby. You probably have something to say about the black and gold that's burning hard in your soul. Take those fingers, give them the working. Put them comments in the chat.
Put those comments, put them in the chat.
All you got to do is go ahead and put them things in the chat.
I want to hear what you got to say.
I want to hear from you.
Talk to me and not your bad.
Oh, you ain't got to worry about it. All you got to do is talk to me. I talk back to you now.
Put those comments, put them in the chat.
All you got to do is put them comments in the chat.
I want to hear what you got to say.
I want to hear from you.
Talk to me and not your bad.
Talk to me. I guarantee you, I'm going to talk right back to you.
Nice.
Yes, and yes. All you have to do is put those comments in the chat. Happy birthday to your dad, Jerry. Much love to you. Happy 68th birthday to you, kind sir. Thank y'all for supporting the show throughout the years. And shouts out to them after show boys.
Shouts out. To them after show boys, shots out, shots out, shots out, shots out, shots out. To them after show boys, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting. Yeah, them after show boys, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting and be posting, they be tweeting. Yeah, them after show boys.
Be boot, be tweet, and be boot. Hit the beanie weenie one time. But thank y'all, real talk, real talk, real talk. Thank y'all for supporting the show. Really do appreciate it, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk a little bit about Saints training camp, what everybody's here for. Saints training camp. Now, today was the first day. If you're watching this on a Monday, this was the first day of padded practice for the New Orleans Saints. And this is what people call real football, right? I mean, it's one thing you out here making plays with helmets and shells and with underwear on and all that kind of stuff. You know, that's cool. You know, like, might get a little buzz, might even get a column written about you at the bottom of the page. All right, fair enough. But it's real football when them boys start thumping, when it's when they hitting, when they tackling, when things are starting to heat up and competition is starting to get to an all-time high. That's when you separate the boys from the men, the dogs from the puppies, the cats from the kittens. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. It's that time. And it's an exciting time. And head coach Dennis Allen spoke a little bit about padded practice, and he says it's his favorite time of the year. More than Christmas?
It's the first time since January that we've had an opportunity to play real football. Or simulate real football. And so I always enjoy putting the pads on, and then, you know, the big thing is you're trying to find out who likes the noise, you know, and really who doesn't like the noise. And this is a tough physical game played by tough physical people, and you have to be willing to stick your nose in there and create a little contact, absorb a little contact, and be able to make plays within that. We have to be able to catch the ball in the middle of the field and know that, you know, we're going to have to absorb some contact in that situation. And 99 out of 100 times, you're going to get hit, so you might as well catch the ball and finish the play. So, but yeah, I do enjoy this part of the game.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the tackling and hitting and hit that thing splitting, nobody's out for the year. I hope it's the most wonderful time of the year. Dennis Allen, ladies and gentlemen, he thinks it's the most wonderful time of the year, but it is a really good time of the year, man. It's a really good time of the year. You know, you find out what you really have. And, you know, I can understand it, you know, and I got to give credit to Dennis Allen for this soundbite, because that was the most polite way of saying he don't want them boys to be soft. He said it's one thing, you know, if you can catch a pass going over the middle. Y'all know what that means. If you play football, when you catching them passes over the middle, that's when you certified. You know what I'm saying? That's the stamp of approval right there. And he said, if you're going to get hit, you might as well catch the football. So right now, DA is setting the tone here. You know, he wants aggression, you know, from the fact of them actually trying to convert to more of a running team and also being able to play stout defense. Look, man, I'm about all that stuff that he talking about right there. All right. Because ain't nobody got no time for these boys to be out here soft as cottonelle tissue. Once again, this is the time that you separate the boys from the men. All right. This is it. This is your opportunity. If you are on the bubble, it is time for you to start making a splash. Coaches take this type of practice way more serious than those guys with the helmets and the shells on. So hopefully these guys step up and make an opportunity, you know, happen for themselves for those that are trying to make the team. But there is one person that is standing out amongst this crowd that is making a splash, and that is undrafted rookie, by the way, from Yale. an astute young man by the name of Mason Tipton. Now, Mason Tipton has been taking camp by storm, and everybody has their eyes on Mason Tipton, especially Dennis Allen.
You know, I think he's got the skill set. You know, he's a smaller player, but he's got some real good quickness, and he's a savvy route runner. You know, like he's got some football awareness, and so I think he understands kind of how to play the position. He's got really explosive speed down the field. So I think as we go throughout training camp, we'll have to see, you know, what are all those things that he can do. I think he's proven that he can run deep. And now we'll have to see how does he execute in some of the underneath stuff, and can we get the ball in his hands quickly? Can he get some run after catch? Those types of things. But I was telling someone the other day that he reminds me a little bit of, on the defensive side of the ball, I had Chris Harris in Denver 2011. We had the lockout, and you know, nobody knew who Chris Harris was. He was an undrafted free agent out of Kansas. But every day he showed up out there, he worked his tail off, competed at the highest level, and every day he did something to catch your eye, you know. And next thing you know, you're 2 or 3 weeks into training camp, and you know, he's done something to deserve an opportunity to, you know, get more opportunities. And so I think I like some of the things that I'm seeing out of him.
So he likes Mason Tipton. You know, like I said, the young man comes from Yale. He was a really good explosive player for him. And this is a great opportunity for Mason Tipton, you know, and, you know, this is a guy that is not short of confidence, you know, listening to him talk to the media today. And, you know, the media asked him, what has he learned about himself during this whole training camp process?
Nothing I didn't know already. You know, I work hard. You know, I tell myself I work the hardest. So, you know, any moments out here is something that I've already believed that I could do. So, you know, it's just, like I said, when I'm prepared, you know, I trust myself that I'm prepared. I come out here to make the plays that I know I can make.
So this is a guy that, you know, understands that this is an opportunity for him, and he's taking advantage of it. And he's not short of confidence. I mean, why would he be short of confidence? This dude went to Ivy League school. If football don't work out, I'm pretty sure the White House would be calling him shortly for a job working at the Pentagon or something. Like, you good. Like, you got a degree from Yale, you straight. All right. Look, I think you're gonna be all right. And I think as soon as you step foot out the university, a 6-figure job is just waiting for you. But he wants to play football. And we talked about this. We already know who the starters are. We already know who the top 2 are. It's basically 3 on down. We know that Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave are your 1 and your 2. You know, I'm very concerned, though, because I have not heard much about A.T. Perry. And the only thing I heard about Cedric Wilson is him and Alontae Taylor look like they got into it at practice. So all I'm hearing about is Mason Tipton. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Doesn't it seem like every single year during training camp, there's always this one guy that everybody's talking about? Be on the lookout for, be on the lookout, look under your couch cushions. Like every single time, every year. I mean, how many times have we heard this is a young man by the name of Brandon Coleman? I mean, he is absolutely just wrecking shop. And then we heard about Lucas Kroll, and then we hear about all these other guys. Like, I'm just saying, man, I'm not saying that this guy isn't as advertised, but it just seems like there's always this one guy every single year they start to talk about, and then all of a sudden, this man can't play dead in a Western, as they say. I mean, it's pretty bad. So hopefully this guy can live up to this expectation that they're putting on him. But I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if you go into camp and you're like, man, we already know what Olave gonna do. We already know what Shaheed gonna do. A.T. Perry, we covered him last year. Let's focus in on that guy. He caught more than one pass. Like, come on, man. It seems to me like they're really impressed And did y'all catch Dennis Allen? Y'all see how Dennis Allen just went out there like he knows talent when he sees it. He's just gonna randomly bring up Chris Harris. Like nobody knew what Chris Harris could do but me. But look how Chris Harris' career turned out. I know y'all caught that, right? Way to pat yourself on the back. Look, I'm liking Dennis Allen, this new Dennis Allen that's out here right now. Patting himself on the back, giving constructive criticism, not afraid to challenge guys. I mean, I don't know what this is going to turn into season-wise, but it's better than what we've been getting. I don't think I heard the word cleanup. Have anybody heard cleanup? I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it in any of the press conferences. A few things we got to work on. So maybe there was a few things he worked on while he was gone. So, I mean, I ain't got no problem with it. But in all seriousness, folks, this is a great opportunity for Mason Tipton, man. Like, this wide receiver room is wide open. And if he can go out here and make some plays, if he can run some routes, we already know the speed. I'm pretty sure he can take the top off the defense. But if you can actually do the little things as well, I think this is a great opportunity. Now, DA did mention his size. He did mention he was a little bit on the smaller side, but there still can be an opportunity for you, man. If you got that grit and you got that fight, you'll get an opportunity. If you don't get an opportunity with the New Orleans Saints, somebody else will pick you up. So great opportunity for Tipton. Hopefully he can be able to knock it out of the park. The next, we're going to go ahead and move on. And we talk about bright spots. We talk about the Saints needing to improve in certain areas, right? One area that we have been addressing and want to talk about and want to be addressed is the pass rush. The Saints, I want to say collectively as a group, only had like 34 sacks. It's not very good, man. You got to be able to get after the quarterback. You got to be able to put the quarterback on the ground. It's really impressive that the Saints were ranked in the top 15 and not really having a consistent pass rush. I always say, man, like when you like there are some very impressive things that I have learned, like basically just doing, the gumbo pot and learning about other teams. I learned that the Pittsburgh Steelers went 10-7 and had the bottom of the barrel offense, and they had a lights out defense, even though the defense was ranked like in the 20s. They had the 25th ranked offense and the 21st ranked defense. And I just think, like, dang, Mike Tomlin a great coach. Now, Mike Tomlin went to the Super Bowl. I ain't calling DA a great coach, but all I'm saying is defensively. This is why I say that Dennis Allen is a great defensive mind, because they had no business being ranked in the top 15 without a pass rush. I guarantee you that's not something that you see all the time. But back to my point, he mentioned Chase Young. Like, Chase Young is a little bit ahead of schedule. We know about the neck surgery that he had, kind of shied a few teams away because they didn't want to commit to it. The Saints signed him to a 1-year, $13 million contract. They bet on the guy. And you got to give Chase Young credit, too, because he bet on himself. And everything that you're hearing about Chase Young is things that we already knew. He was the second overall pick in the draft for a reason. He hit the NFL by storm in his first season when he was healthy with the Commanders. There was a reason why he was really good. And, of course, he had a few setbacks with injuries, but it seems like he's starting to slowly get himself back into shape and feeling a little bit more like himself. And DA talked a little bit about Chase Young.
I think he got 3 plays, and the first one kind of bull rushed back in there and, got a little bit too close to the quarterback for me, but that was, that catches your eye when a guy's able to, walk the offensive tackle back into the quarterback. I think that's something that he can do. And so, I thought I liked what I saw in those 3 plays. I think all 3 of them by design were pass rush plays. And I think we'll see, gradually a little bit more out of Chase as we go into practice. This was all kind of part of the plan, to kind of working back in. And so we got him a couple of pass rushes in a team environment, which I thought that was good for him, both physically and mentally, I think, to be back out there.
Look, I'm excited about Chase Young. Chase Young isn't one of those guys that you have to wonder what he's going to be. It's just a matter of can he be what you know he can be. And he's motivated right now. And even last year, like, I want people to understand this. This man was dealing with a neck injury. Like, it can get serious. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't treated. This was something like he played with all last season. He didn't miss a game. If you combine the fact that he played for the Commanders and then in the middle of the season got traded to the 49ers, he played in every single game. He had 7.5 sacks. And he was dealing with a serious injury. Think about that. So imagine him getting this corrected, him being motivated because he knows, like, this dude is young. No pun intended. But he's like 24, 25 years old. So if he goes out here, he gets double-digit sacks or have a monster season. Like, this dude can set himself up to get paid, like, very, very handsomely. Like, really. And with that being said, I hope that the New Orleans Saints do not make the same mistake that they did with Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson also had a neck injury. And, of course, he was in and out of the lineup. And the Saints did not commit to him. And now look at Trey Hendrickson and the production he's putting in Cincinnati. So hopefully the Saints don't make the same mistakes. If this guy comes out here and he shows you what he have, pay the man. Pay him. Pay him, okay? It's just that it's plain and simple. Pay him. With that, okay, so now we can go ahead and move on. I just want to let that be said, all right? Let's not do what we did with Trey Hendrickson. I don't know. I don't know. He's always hurt. But look at him now. Look, Trey Hendrickson been about as healthy as a newborn baby, fresh out the womb up in this thing. Killing it in Cincinnati. Those 15.5 sacks could have been yours. I'm serious, man. If it's like week 9, I'm dead serious. If it's like week 9 and Chase Young like has like close to 10 sacks or has 10 sacks, don't even let this dude get out the door. Like, seriously, don't let him get out the door. Go ahead and pay that man right then and there. Like, start negotiating. Because I'm telling you, man, like, the price is going to go up. What they say, yesterday's price is not today's price. So you might want to go ahead and pay that man. Don't do what you did with Trey Hendrickson. Please, pretty please, Mickey Loomis. Please, Mick. Hey, yo, Mick, please don't do it. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments, and then we'll get back into DA talking a little bit more about Chase Young and his neck issue and him being a little bit ahead of schedule than they expected at this particular time. It's me says, yeah, I ain't falling for it no more. Every year they sell us on a darling and season comes and they disappear. Yes, I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm just saying that we've seen this before. Now, let's be real. Like, they've been correct on a few guys like Deontay Hardy and Rashid Shaheed. You know, like they've been pretty high on guys like that in the past. So, I mean, there have been guys that were worth, the time and, the typing of the column, like they were worth it. But then there were guys that wouldn't waste their time. You know what I'm saying? Weren't worth the time of the people. A waste of time. There we go. A waste of time. So, I mean, it's hit and miss. All I'm saying is, like, for this particular position, and you know what the Saints need. See, here's the reality. Nobody expected Brandon Coleman to be no number one. Middle of the rotation, right? But when we're talking about a number 3 receiver, when we talk about a 3, like, basically you are an injury away from being a 2, right? You go from being, a guy that gets maybe a handful of, snaps or whatever like that to somebody that gets quite a few if somebody goes down. This is serious business right here, man, because you're talking about a major production here at a 3. So I don't know, man. It's one thing talking about Brandon Coleman, who, probably give you some red zone offense, or a guy that's probably going to be your number 4, probably barely going to see the field, probably in blocking situations. But this is a guy at the 3 position that's going to be an integral role, going to play an integral role in his offense. So hopefully, whoever it is, they earned it and they do a really good job. Brandon Coleman never used his size. That's what killed him. if he used his size, he could have been a beast. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if he didn't want to do it or they never approached him to do it. But if I think the Saints should have made him a tight end, because if you look at towards the end of his Saints career, he was scoring in the red zone. Like they went to him early and often in the red zone, and that's where his bread was buttered. So I was like, maybe he should have did what Juwan Johnson did. You know, Juwan Johnson started off as a wide receiver. The Saints were like, yeah, we like you. We want you to be a part of the team. We want to move you to tight end. You think you put on about 15, 20 pounds of muscle, and he did that. So I'm wondering, like, did they ask Brandon Coleman to do it and he didn't want to commit to it? I don't know. But all I know is when he was a little bit of a red zone threat for Drew Brees, like the last 2 years playing for the Saints. So I don't know. Like, I think that maybe he missed his calling because maybe he didn't want to commit to it. I don't know. But if I was the Saints, I think I would have did what I did with Juwan Johnson with Brandon Coleman. Maybe they approached him with it and he didn't want to do it, but it just seemed like, you know, that's he would have been better probably at the tight end position, playing the middle of the field. The thing is, Dennis needs to have that energy with each and every player. You know what I mean? I guess you're referring to Derek Carr, but yeah, I definitely agree. You can't have favorites. You know, you can't have favorites around this thing. You know, like you got to be able to call guys out from the guy that's making 100 million to the guy that's making 100,000. I agree with you on that. If you're not doing that, then yeah. Like a fart in the wind. It's me. I haven't, but Siri, play Canton Spirituals Clean Up. Captain, clean up. I got it.
Clean up what I messed up.
Okay. Can y'all hear that? And why is my Apple Music up? Wait a minute. What is going on here? What the heck is going on, man? I'm looking. It's actually my phone at the bottom. So Siri picked up my voice command, right? So it started playing Zach. Anybody ever heard of Zach Williams' Promised Land? Anybody ever heard of that? Man, Siri about to get me demonetized, and it wasn't even my fault, man. Hold on, make sure. Because y'all know Siri, man, they pick up your voice, be like, so when you say his name, it just started to pick up. Says you kind of low, big dog. I mean, I've been doing this show, what, 27 minutes? You think you need to turn it up a little bit, man? Think you need to turn it up a little bit? Y'all can hear me? Y'all can hear me? If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. Oh, man. But no, but all seriousness, man, like I think that Brandon Coleman missed his calling at tight end. Probably would have still been in the league. Probably don't know if he would have been playing for the Saints, but I mean, he probably could have had a job. I mean, that was the most important thing, right? Don't care if he's small, TJ, can he ball? Steve Smith is a prime example. Well, Steve Smith was just another beast, man. That guy was a Wolverine in human skin. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude was a beast. That old age showing on Cam Jordan. Well, he is 35 years old, right? I mean, he is 35. He's been in the league for a long time. He ain't gonna look like he's 20 or 21, like when he first came into the league. So, man, he had a lot of war wounds. You know what I'm saying? A lot of battles and a lot of children. You know, so hey, man, it just happens. It's a part of life. Keep living. You ain't gonna look the same way you did, whatever age you are. You know, you ain't gonna always look like you 20 or 30 or 40. You know, keep living. I'm hoping Brazil and Foskey step up. Trade wanted out of Cincy. Yeah, he wanted out of Cincy, but he was super productive. He was super productive. You know, he still is super productive. So, I mean, he can want out all he wants to. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with the organization. You know, like we ain't talking about that. We talking about the production that he put in a Bengals uniform. Now, it don't matter like if he comfortable and happy at where he at, but when he on that field, he a beast. That's the whole point. And you didn't have to let that man leave. Cousins has had the Saints number as of late. as of late, Kirk Cousins has always had the Saints number. There's not a game that Kirk Cousins had played against the Saints and he ain't put up big time numbers or played at a high level. That includes the time when he played them when they was with the Redskins at the time. Like, it took the Saints 5 minutes of heroics to beat Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins had about 300 and some odd yards in that game. I want to say about 3 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins has carved up the Saints defense like a Thanksgiving turkey. Kirk Cousins is the reason why the Saints got eliminated in the wild card round of the playoff. Like, Kirk Cousins is the reason why, you know, the Saints lost in London a few years ago because of a hellified pass that he threw to Justin Jefferson on the left sidelines, one-on-one versus Marshawn Lattimore. And if y'all remember, what set up that touchdown that people talk about the push off with Kyle Rudolph? What set it up? Who did he go after? Adam Thielen went after Marshawn Lattimore. I say that to say this. The dude, you can say whatever you want about Kirk Cousins. The man is a gamer. And he don't care. He trusts his guys. And anybody that ever played football, ever played receiver, caught a pass from anybody, you know, if that quarterback trusts you, like, man, you'll go to war with that dude. Y'all can laugh at Kirk Cousins if you want to. I'm saying it right now. I don't care if he do play for the Falcons. Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in NFC South. Now, some people might say that ain't saying nothing, but it's the truth. If I had a choice, I'm sorry, Derek, if they said, would I choose Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr? I'm rolling with Kirk Cousins. So y'all can laugh and, you know, like scoff at them dudes all you want to, man. But I'm telling you right now, Kirk Cousins, like if that offense get on point, if Zach Robinson has that offense on point, that getting out the NFC South and laughing at the Falcons ain't gonna be. You ain't gonna be able to laugh at them as loud as you think. Like if you beat the Falcons, you're gonna know that you didn't play it in a game. That dude can ball, man. I'm telling you. May not be as interesting and as exciting as some of them other guys, but he put up numbers. And my man be balling. So I don't know. They better, like, if y'all don't take Kirk Cousins serious, y'all better. Alexa, hooked up to my YouTube music account because that cleanup song started playing. Yeah, man. I'm like, if you say anything remotely close to it, like my refrigerator like has Alexa, and I think I was talking to my son, and I said, I don't even think I said Alexa, but it was something that was like remotely close to it. And then she was like, let me think. I'm like, ain't nobody talking to you. You ever like talk to Alexa like you're having a conversation with your friend or your wife or your husband or something? Like, I ain't talking to you. Like you gonna respond back, like gonna get you to smoke like you trying to give her. Like, come on, man. But all jokes aside, man, like, yeah, those they're very, very easy to pick up. You know they be listening, but that's another story for another day. I seen a video today when Carr missed Shaheed wide open on a fly route once he's beaten Taylor and threw the pass short, and then said it was my fault. I was like Carr doing Carr things. Well, look, man, that's why you have practice right now, you know, to work out the kinks, you know, and man, you got to keep in mind, man, these dudes have been away from football for a while too. You know, they ain't really just been throwing like that, and so they trying to get acclimated as well, man. So I know people like to put up like camp footage, like they had like one up about Tallahassee Fuaga, like he was blocking. Somebody gonna send me a picture of a snapshot saying, "Look, you holding on that plate." Like, come on, man. Like, we just nitpicky, man. Come on. Like, I get it. You know, it's just like what other people, you know, they're talking about the offensive line. Like the Saints, you know, they signed the offensive lineman, you know, a guy from Jacksonville, and I was like, man, the Saints aren't playing about the offensive line. And it was like, well, he ain't that good. He ain't that good. I'm like, it don't matter how good the guy is. The fact is they're not settling for the status quo. Like you can't, excuse my French, you can't bitch and moan about the New Orleans Saints and them not making moves and making shakes. And then all of a sudden when they make it, you still not satisfied. Those are the type of fans I can't stand. Now, you can have a wait and see approach, but don't just have that pessimistic approach. Like, oh man, they ain't never gonna be. Yeah, they like, come on, man. We've been talking about it for years. Like, they need to change some things around. They need to like not go with the status quo. The status quo is the reason why they keep on falling short. Now all of a sudden they do a complete revamp. right? They ain't trying to bring back Undrafted no more. They ain't trying to bring back some of these other guys. They're allowing them to hit free agency and bring in a whole different pile of offensive linemen. I can respect the hustle. I can respect you trying, right? Like, the thing about it is, like, if you ever been in a relationship, everything ain't always going to be perfect, right? But at least try, right? If you're trying, a person, if they care about you, they're going to respect your efforts. I respect the efforts, man. I ain't saying the efforts going to work out. I don't know if them boys going to be about as thin as paper mache on that offensive line. I don't know, man. But the thing about it is, all I know is they're trying something different. And I'm not going to knock them for going against something that they've been doing for years that I've had a problem with. I feel like that right there, that's hypocrisy, right? That is like, to me, you talking about you want one thing, you know, like, come on, man. That you're being a hypocrite. Don't criticize the team. And then, you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden, like, they do what you ask them to do and you still criticize. Like, respect the fact that they're trying to do something, you know, like they're trying to do something different. And if it don't work out, then we can have this conversation. Why didn't it work out? But you're not seeing the same offensive lineman. Like, you're seeing like an overhaul. You see Tallahassee Fuaga at left tackle. Nick Saldiveri, you know, playing guard. He left with a calf injury. Hopefully that's nothing serious, but he's new. You got Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz. They were about the steadiest offensive lineman you had last season, so that makes sense. And you got Trevor Penning on the right side. You also have Ali Udo if that don't pan out. You also got Herndon. You know what I'm saying? Herndon if that don't pan out. So you got Shane Lemieux that's there right now. You know, you got Lucas Patrick. You got some seasoned veterans that have been around the league. These guys have a level of athleticism, and they also have veteran leadership. They can actually teach some of these young cats. So my thing is, why do we have a problem with them trying to do something different? You know, it's just the fact that they're trying something different. So let's just respect that. I have a wait and see approach, but I also can give a round of applause for them trying to do something different. Like that, I mean, we can't be critical of the changes that we wanted them to make. We wanted them to change around this offensive line. Y'all wanted some new blood. TJ, we need some new blood, man. Man, this offensive line ain't it, TJ. All in my DMs. Yeah, TJ, man, what you think you're going to do about that offensive line? They're doing something about it. So let's wait and see. Just like, look, I don't know if some of you are new here, but we have a wait and see approach. We don't have a be and moan approach. Like, we ain't got that. Right? That ain't it. That ain't it right there, man. That ain't it. We look at what they're doing and we adjust accordingly. This is like, I don't know if, you know, people just think that this is the kind of show where I just, you know, ish on the team all the time. No, that ain't that type of show. I applaud when they do things the right way, which we all should. Let's see. Speaking of Andrews Pete, we probably should have kept him. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying right there? You see what I'm saying? Like, man, Andrews Pete, man, he's slipping and sliding like the escapades, man. He Disney on ice. Now all of a sudden you got a hole at the guard, man. Andrews Pete, man, I think he was all right, man. You know what I mean? He wasn't that bad. Started to talk ourselves into it. No, let Andrews go. Let him. I hope that he does great things with the Raiders. You know, I'm serious. Like, maybe that'll help him. He's a West Coast guy. I want to say he's from Arizona. Back home on the West Coast, probably make him feel better about himself. Probably play a little better. Nothing wrong with that. The Saints needed to move on from Andrews Pete. We knew what we had with Andrews Pete. It's not like Andrews Pete about to wake up and just become Larry Allen. Like, he's been, when did he come to the Saints? 2014, 2013, something like that? He's been with the team for a while. Could be wrong. I'm bad with dates, but y'all get what I'm saying. We know what we got with Andrews Pete. Andrews Pete is going to do what Andrews Pete do. He's going to be an above average, close to very, very good run blocker and struggle in pass protection. Right? I mean, he might give you some games where he looked like Stonewall Jackson up in his mud. And then he got other games where he moonwalking back like Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. He is who he is. So now that you know what he is and you know who he is, it's time to move on. It's time to move on, man. Like, man, she ain't no good for you, bruh. He ain't no good for you, sister. That's just what it is, man. Like, you already know what they strengths and their weaknesses are, man. And it ain't gonna change. So let that man go out here, live his best life out there in Las Vegas, and you move forward and see what Nick Saldiveri got. And guess what? This is the most amazing thing about it, folks. There's another draft next year. And if he doesn't work out, I'm talking Saldiveri, then guess what? You can draft yourself another guard. They make guards every year, B. They make guys every year. You feel me? I'm serious. Right tackle, same thing. We're very high on Tallahassee, justifiably so. But if Trevor Penning don't work out, hey, but I hope he does. And speaking of which, we shift gears to Trevor Penning. Trevor Penning is going into his third year with the New Orleans Saints, and to say that his career has got off to a rocky start would be an understatement. But he is undeterred, who that nation. He's undeterred. He's not concerned about that. At one time he was, but now he's saying that he's a little bit more confident.
I feel a lot more confident for sure. I feel like I'm not afraid to make really a mistake. I mean, obviously you don't want to make mistakes, but I feel like mistakes are kind of how you learn. And I think the previous 2 years, I think I've been, it was hard to kind of making a mistake kind of bothered me, but now it's kind of like a learning moment. You can learn from it, flush it, and, use it and try never to make it again, but use it to learn and keep going.
He looks a little bit more slender, now, but all in all, I like when I'm hearing out Trevor Penning. I've been telling y'all, and I'm going to tell the new listeners that's watching this right now, I'm not taking anything I have seen from the New Orleans Saints to the last 2 seasons serious. Like, I am not going to indict these players based on what I've seen over the last 2 years, because we know the truth, folks. Doug Marrone was horrible as offensive line coach. Horrible. Pete Carmichael was horrible at the day-to-day play calling duties. Horrible. And I just feel like it would be wrong for us to judge these dudes based on the poor performances by their coaching staff offensively. And I don't feel bad about saying that, because the 2 gentlemen that I just named are no longer with the team. So even the team has to agree with TJ. It's not me hating, it's facts. And when you look at Trevor Penning, this coaching staff failed this dude. If you count the fact that he was injured, if you count the fact that I don't feel like they were actually steering him in the right direction. Now, I feel like we're going to get a nice sample size of who Trevor Penning is. I get it. We want our offensive linemen. We want our first-round draft picks to look like Aaron Donald right out the gate, Larry Allen right out the gate, Trent Williams straight out the gate. I get it. But sometimes it takes guys a little bit longer than others in order for them to grasp the concept. Some guys are like ducks in water. It's just natural for them to be able to thrive in that type of environment. But you also have to take into account this guy coming from a smaller university, the fact that, once again, Doug Marrone was not very good at his job. I'm giving this dude an opportunity. I'm giving this dude a chance in order for him to get himself together before I really start judging this guy. We gotta have a cause to pause sometime, folks, and understand what we're actually saying when we're saying certain things. Like, when we're upset about this team and we talk about this coaching staff is not very good, we talk about, oh, they should have did this or they should have did that. What are you really saying? Are you just talking about that play and that's it? Or you're not looking at the entire totality of what you're referring to? Because if you're saying that the coaching staff has let down the team by not calling certain things, what are you saying about the team overall? You can't just stop with the play calling that you see on a 3rd and 5. going for a deep pass down the field. What the hell were you thinking, Pete Carmichael? But all in all, you cannot just leave it at that. You got to look at the entire picture. And the entire picture, you're saying that this coaching staff has failed them. And they did. Once again, the reason why they're no longer here. So I say give Trevor Penny an opportunity. I say give him a chance, man, before we just start writing these dudes off. If he doesn't pan out, then he doesn't pan out. We can have that conversation. But it's hard for me to sit up here and fully evaluate guys on the offensive side of the football when the entire offensive staff gone. Whole staff. Like, I'm going to get this dude opportunity. But anyway, man, he's doing the right things. He's even working with a former New Orleans Saint left tackle, Teron Armstead. We all know how good Teron is. I mean, the Saints are still trying to fill that void that he left when he went to Miami. But Trevor Penny talked about working with T-Stead in the offseason.
A lot of technique, a lot of the mental side of it, kind of like a plan is almost kind of what he was trying to help me with, is kind of develop a plan before you even get to the line of scrimmage, what you're going to do to them and not let the rusher dictate what you're going to do. So taking more of a offensive approach and being the guy who kind of sets the tone over what he's going to do.
So doing the right things, working with T-Stead, working with guys that have done it at a high level, understands the organization, what the organization expects. So I think that's a good look, man. Like, I can't knock the guy. He's doing all the right things to get better. Seems like he's in the right headspace. It's tough being an offensive lineman. Like, it is a critical position. And I don't just mean critical, like, you're basically saving a life of a guy. You're saving a guy from possibly getting paralysis, right? You blocking for a guy, but it's also like, critical, to your mental health. Like, you got to think about this, man. I don't know if some of y'all know this, but Tristan Wirfs, the offensive lineman for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he started off his career at right tackle. Last season, they moved him from the right to the left. He said he had to go get therapy when he was actually going through this transition. He said his head was just so clouded because of the expectations of moving from right to left. He had to go seek medical help. Now think about that, folks. Think about how hatred for the Bucs aside. Think about how talented this dude is. Think about how gifted this dude is at his position. He moves from the right to the left. This man has to go get his head. He got to get his head right in order for him to do that. It's tough being an offensive lineman. You never get real true credit for being great. It's one of those positions where people know your name because you suck most of the time. Unless your name Trent Williams and, you just the biggest bully ever, what I'm saying? Want all the smoke. But outside of that, the offensive linemen, the only reason why you really know them for the most part is they giving up sacks. Or a lineman runs right past them and stops the running back for a 2-yard loss. It's just a fact. That is when you think about that, you got to make sure that you're in the right headspace. And it's easy to lose confidence. Everything can be going smoothly the whole game. Think about how many snaps an offense take. And it's at the end of the game, 1 minute left. Guy blows right past you, sacks the quarterback, and you lose the game. And think about this. All them snaps that dude took, what is Monday morning quarterback going to be about? That offensive lineman giving up that sack. It's a tough position to play. So your head has got to be in the right place, man. And you know what? I'm glad that it seems like he's happier, man. It seems like he's more comfortable. I don't know if this is going to translate to the field. I got to keep on saying that. But it seems like they're doing the necessary things in order for them to be successful. So good for Trevor Penny. Good for him, man. I hope that translates into some productive games this season. Low expectation for the offensive line. I'm starting to get worried. Not worried we'll do bad because that's a W. I want DA fired, but I'm starting to think it's a built-in excuse for year 4. If McCoy goes down, they're cooked. Well, I tell you what, no cap. I don't think that it is. I don't. I think that, first off, it's low expectations because they made them that way. Nobody, like, honestly, if you look at the whole team as a whole, it's low expectations. Nobody expects the Saints to do much of anything. That includes fans. You know, I mean, everybody has a wait-and-see approach for the most part. You know, so I don't think that is a built-in excuse. I don't think he has any more excuses. He doesn't. He doesn't have any more excuses because the reality is he has to hit it out the park. You can't sell this team on Dennis Allen. You can't sell the fans on Dennis Allen after the third year. This is your team. This team is constructed in your image now. All the Sean Payton layovers, once again, all those coaches that could possibly be congregating in a corner saying they can coach the team better, all them gone. This is your team. And anybody that's here right now, it's because you wanted them to be. So what excuse or leg you have to stand on if the Saints don't make the postseason? What leg do you have to stand on? You don't have one. So with that being said, like, it's going to be a hard sell to sell Dennis Allen in another year in 2025 when you didn't miss the playoffs three consecutive years under his watch. 4 years as a organization. 4 straight years. So that's going to be a hard sell, bro. Like, you can't scapegoat this one. You can't scapegoat this one, my friend. You cannot. Nah, you can't make no excuse. They can try to build in anything they want to, but ain't nobody buying what you selling. When Pete Carmichael got let go, that was the last Jenga piece that fell to the ground, right? That was the last piece that got pulled before the Jenga set crumbled into the ground. That's it. Now it's on you, player. It's on you, baby. It's on you, man. It is on you. If you don't hit it out the park, you don't try to sell Saints fans on Dennis Allen in 2025. That's when they really gonna, like, the fan base really gonna be like, man, I'll be back when y'all get serious. Now I'm not cursing it, but what if he fails this year? Then what? If he fails, he gone. In my opinion. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how they think around this organization. Maybe like year 14, they feel like they'll finally get it together. I don't know. But all I know is it's going to be a hard sell to sell Dennis Allen in 2025 to the masses if these dudes don't make the postseason. I'm telling you, I don't care how much gum you chewing. I don't care how much of a no F's given attitude you got. I'm telling you, fans are not going to buy into this team anymore if this dude don't get it done. Like, his job has to be on the line. I don't care if you like him. I don't care if he's your best friend. I don't care if he's your buddy. I don't care about none of that. Some people will say, well, what about Sean Payton? Sean Payton, the Saints went, what, 79, 8, 8? Let me tell y'all something. Sean Payton first year, what did the Saints do? They went to the NFC Championship game. They went to the highest level of play in the history of their organization in his very first year as a coach. The organization never seen the NFC Championship game. Sniff that thing. So that's why you had, okay, man, we know that he's capable of doing it. But what leg does Dennis Allen have to stand on? Did Dennis Allen come in and the Saints were a play away from the Super Bowl? Oh, no. Were the Saints winning the division? Oh, no. None of that. Falling short, missing the playoffs. It's on you, man. It is on you. If you can't get it done, that's it. That's it, folks. That is it. That's all she wrote. Brother TJ and family, what's happening with it? What's going on, Kyle? Thank you for being here, man. Ross says he has no feeling that DA is in a high seat year. Names can change, but I'm starting to worry Mickey bring him back if we win 7 or 8 games. I don't know about that, but I will say this about, something that Ross said. You can't have that approach though, no cap. You can't, man. Like it's almost like if you have a worker or somebody works with you and they do something that's insubordinate, right? And you have a conversation with them, and you like, okay, man, we're gonna have this conversation. I feel like you need to work on this, and that. You like as a manager, after you have that conversation and you say, man, it's up to you. Like I feel like effective management, you're gonna get that person opportunity. You ain't gonna keep on busting their chops every time, you know what I'm saying, nitpick it. Like you're gonna really let them go out here and show that they can actually do what you're doing. I've learned, like in my 14 years of management, that's the most effective approach. Not just keep on like following behind the person, like reminding them of their shortcomings day after day. That's only going to affect their confidence and honestly the people around them. It's like, oh, that person on a hot seat, I gotta stay away from them. I got, so I can understand that approach because you don't want, like, this guy knows, like, come on, man. You've been around football for this long, that it's a results driven business. So what they say, what's understood don't need to be explained. So I wouldn't expect for him to be walking around saying, no, if you don't get it right this year, you fired, right? All right, I'm just letting you know. Walk past him in the lobby. Hey, man, I was just thinking, if it's week 15 and y'all not in playoff contention, I was just thinking, if I can just, let you go on that Monday instead of, just waiting out the rest of the season, let you get a head start on the next coaching job. Yeah, like, come on. Come on, man. Like, there's no need. He understands what he needs to do. So he shouldn't, like, be around that thing just following him around. Like, man, you about to get fired, right? Like, where's the morale in that? And you can't, like, you can't, like, let them know, like, how you feeling. Like, you gotta give him a fair shot. Let him be able to get these players. Like, let's try to see if he can actually get these players involved. But if he start walking around like he on the hot seat, I mean, how you think that those players will feel? Like, those players aren't crazy. Like, they feel like this guy ain't gonna be here for long. They're gonna, they start going in the back of their mind. Like, man, this dude ain't gonna even be here. So if he doing this to him, what about me? So I don't want him to walk around there like this man about to get fired, I feel like CJ Gardner-Johnson is acting like Eli Apple, really. Nah, I don't think so. I can understand this man's point, as far as him not being on the top safety list on Madden. He did lead the league in interceptions in 2022. I mean, he got injured in 2023, but I mean, still, he was he still deserves to be in that conversation. You got guys on that list who have had like their fair share of injuries or become middle of the pack. So I can understand like why he's frustrated about the whole Madden rating thing. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, there was a Madden rating for safeties that was put up, and CJ Gardner-Johnson wasn't happy because he wasn't on the list. And he had some things to say. He basically said like the guy that replaced him in New Orleans, referring to Tyrann Mathieu, he was basically saying like, look where they at. And then he said, and I want to say, who was the other guy? I can't think. I want to say Bynard. I think it was Kevin Bynard or whatever like that. And he was saying like he couldn't get the job done out there in Philly. So I guess that's what they were referring to. But man, look, dude's gonna trash talk, and that's just the way the guy is. If he said that and he was a member of the New Orleans Saints, everybody would be up in this thing, man. You see what CD said, man? That's my bro. He tell it like it is, bro. Now he ain't with the Saints no more, and he say something about a player that plays for the Saints. Now all of a sudden, man, he turned in and said, "Nah, bro, this dude has always been this dude." I've been saying that since the beginning. I said CJ Gardner-Johnson is the type of guy, if he's on your team, you love him. If he's not on your team, you despise him. So that's his energy. Like we can't pick and choose like just because he's talking about somebody on our squad. I mean, that's just the way that he feels. And I mean, the Honey Badger ain't no slouch, he ain't no slouch. So I don't think that's the case. And honestly, that's not who, like, if you think about it, I don't even think that's the dude he was talking about. I honestly, because if you think about it, when he was in New Orleans, he didn't play safety. So maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe he was talking about him. I mean, I know there was a story that, it was during a time, I guess, Alante or something like that was there, and he felt like he was getting replaced or something like that by Alante and got upset. So, I think Honey Badger tried to intervene. I don't know, man. All I know is that man very confident in his abilities, and he just feels shortchanged. He's definitely on a hot seat, going into the third year as a head coach. Yes, he is. Let's see. Well, when we signed Eli Apple, it was like a desert mirage. You think it's water, but you get closer and you realize it's just dirt. Oh man, that's a good analogy right there. Man, Eli had a little stretch. I don't know if y'all remember, it was like Marshawn Lattimore was down and he was like the number one guy and he started playing like at a high level and everybody's like, man, Eli out there balling. And then, then I don't know. Then it just all went to what? DA putting Penning and Kendra on a high seat. I thought this was the accountability mantra season. Well, I guess so. He say you putting them Penning and Kendra on a high seat. I guess it is. I guess this is like the season where he's holding people accountable. I don't know. Like, he's calling people out. He's saying things that he normally wouldn't be saying about certain players. So I don't know, man. Like I said, at least he's trying something different. Like, I don't know what this is going to translate into, but at least he's doing something differently than what he's been doing. Some people just don't operate well under pressure. Like, you could tell me I'm getting fired all day. I'm going to just sit back and work even harder. And next thing you know, I'm the manager. Yeah, I mean, look, some people, like, when you put a chip on their shoulder, they rise to the occasion. And then you got people that you put a chip on their shoulder and they crumble, crumble like bread. I don't know, like a cracker or something. Like, it just, I mean, pressure breaks pipes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. So some guys, rise to it. Some guys don't. But let's see what Trevor can do when the pressure is on him. DA talking like he knew his job is on the line. I like it though, but some kind of fire under him. Yeah. Put a little pep in your step. Somebody telling you, there's a possibility you get fired or you're on a hot seat. People hopped off the A.T. Perry train and onto Tipton train real quick. All Tipton highlights, all deep balls. He ain't about to Callaway Meacham type guy. Well, I mean, Robert Meacham still made plays, you know what I'm saying? You throw that wide receiver screen or that flea flicker down the field to him, like, shoot, he still made plays. And that's the thing. Like I said, man, like, we're talking about a 3 or 4 string receiver here. So you're not going to get too many plays anyway. Probably a downfield deep pass once a game, on some Calvin Austin type stuff. Calvin Austin like the deep threat for the Steelers. I'm doing all these Steelers references because on the Gumbo Pot I covered the Steelers today. But nonetheless, like he can be that downfield guy. Every team has one. Every team has that one guy that flies down the field. They probably throw a deep ball down the field to him once or twice. When everybody like, oh man, Shaheed about to get this deep ball. Oh no, it's Tipton. I mean, you're not expecting for him to like be, Olave or Shaheed or anything like that. So, I mean, even if he is a downfield threat and it starts off his career, like that's a start, But, as far as A.T. Perry, I don't know. I ain't really heard that much about him. Like, I ain't hearing nobody talk about A.T. Perry. I ain't hear like, Deep pass down to A.T. Perry. What a play. I ain't hear none of that. The dark side says Saints finished last year 9th in scoring. That's with P. Carmichael Harbor play calling. Clint Kubiak is going to open up the offense, which will lead to more points. Last year 9th in scoring. Yeah, I mean, I think that this team already has like the talent to be able to make plays and all that kind of stuff there, but I don't know, man. I don't really like. I'm not real big on analytics all the time because I don't feel like it always tells the story. They might have been 9th in scoring, but you only won 9 games. You know, like I don't know. I don't get it. Were you scoring points when I don't know. I have to look at the scoring summary. I'm gonna be serious, like, because we all know if a team is up by a certain amount of points late in the third or the fourth quarter, they playing a little bit more conservative defense, which opens up opportunities for guys because they kind of like, you know, keep everything into the middle of the field, tick, 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 and then let's just play, you know, play some really good red zone defense. You know, like I don't know, man. I got to look at the summary. Like if you like showing me that they scored 21 point first quarter, 14 point second quarter, like something like that. But I doubt it. Like going back to them games, I guarantee you, and this is not me hating on them or anything like that, but I got to look at the summary. Like when were these points scored? When were these points scored? Like that's what I want to know. You know, because the point, like, stats don't always tell a story. I got to use a Steelers reference again. The Steelers defense was ranked 21st in the National Football League last season, but they were ranked in the top 5 in defensive points allowed. Like they allowed 19 points a game, but they have the 21st. They have the 21st defense in the league, and it was because they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. So I don't know, man. It's like stats don't always tell the story. Because if you looked at it, they'd be like, oh, man, Pittsburgh, man, we about to run all up and through them. And then all of a sudden, T.J. Watt with 19 sacks. Alex Highsmith with 7 sacks. Like, that don't make any sense. You got dogs hunting. You got the secondary out there turning the ball over, but teams just running down the field on you. But they're not scoring any points. So it don't always tell a story. I had to look at the summary, man. For real. That would be impressive if you was winning 13, 14 games. And you was like 9th in scoring or something like that, then I would understand that. But are you 9th in scoring because like you losing and then all of a sudden here come the garbage? You know what I'm saying? Here come the Sanford and Son. Trash time. Garbage time. Rock Embassy. Some of y'all probably remember Rock, huh? Charles Dutton. He was a trad man. Y'all get the point. But all I'm saying is, was it garbage time? Was most of those points, like, did it equate to success? But I get what you're saying. Like, you know, you got something that you can build on. But are you, you know, but I don't know, man. Just change around his offense. It just needs a facelift. Chris Olave is 86 on Madden this year, higher than Garrett Wilson and T. Higgins. Well, he should be. He should have been, you know. Because right now, you know, like, right, he's I don't want to say he's better than him, because, you know, I feel like, to me, I feel like Garrett Wilson, if Chris Olave went to the Jets, Garrett Wilson went to the Saints, I think it would probably be virtually the same. Like, that's one of them situations where it's like the Spider-Man picture when Spider-Man's pointing at another Spider-Man. It's like, they the same guy to me. They both dogs. They both really good route runners. They both can make those contested catches and those catches that make you say, wow. I honestly feel like when Garrett Wilson went and then Chris Olave went, like, if you would have been like Olave go first, Wilson went second, I don't think their stat line would be any different. I don't feel like it would be any different. I think they're virtually the same. So it's win-win. I have looked at the summary. Oh, as far as T. Higgins, he a dog too, man. He a dog, but I just think that he's a little bit in Jamar Chase's shadow. It's not his fault, but hey, I think it has a lot to do with Burrow and Chase's Chase relationship, more so. Everybody kind of knew what it was coming out of LSU and the magic that they put together. So, but T. Higgins, he kind of just playing that background, but he is a number one guy. I think that he'll start to get the respect that he deserves once he leaves Cincinnati and becomes his own man. I have looked at the summaries, most points scored and yardage gained when the Saints were safely beaten. Yeah, I mean, look, that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not knocking it. That's a good assessment. It sounds good, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, man, I'm undefeated at this park, man. I ain't never lost on this blacktop at this park. But you playing against 13-year-old kids that's half your size. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you playing against some 8-year-olds? Like, man, ain't nobody beat me out here. Yeah, that's true, but who are you playing against? Playing against some kids, you blocking a shot looking like Mutombo out there. You know what I'm saying? Looking like Joel Embiid posting them up. Looking like Jokic out here. You know what I'm saying? Finger rolling. Like, how impressive is that when you peel it back? Like, it sounds good, like you out there, man. Shoot, let me go out here to this park, man, put some points down. Oh, man, you still out there balling, man. Yeah, man, you always balling out there. Man, let me come out there and see you. All right, man, I'll be out there on Sunday. Then you go out there, man, I'm about to go see my dog play. Let me see what he do out here. You get out there, you just see a whole bunch of little kids. Like, man, when the game gonna start? Man, the game started right now. What's happening? These are kids, man. Like, so how impressive is it? How impressive is it if in the circumstance? It sounds good, but when you see it up close, when you peel it back and you see what's really going on and how they got to that feat, do you still feel the same way? That's the question. So, little food for thought. Madden got Shaheed at a 79. Olave even higher than DK Metcalf. Hope that's a sign of things to come in real life. Well, look. Well, I think Olave is better than DK Metcalf. I think DK Metcalf is just a large human being that's just freakishly athletic. I don't feel like honestly, I feel like Chris Olave is the type of player that can play well into his 30s. And I feel like DK Metcalf is just like a moment player. Like, once his athleticism starts to fail him, he won't be in the league anymore. Like, I don't know when that's going to be, but you're always going to get hits at your lower extremities because you're bigger than everybody. And like I said, you take a little bit more punishment. Like, I don't care how genetically, freakishly you look physique-wise. I mean, I just always notice, guys that size, they don't last very long in the league. But Chris Olave, that skill set travels. That's a question that was asked to me. They said, would you want to be like a Deshaun Jackson type player, or would you want to be a Chris Carter-like player? Like, fundamentally sound, just basically catch everything, really good route runner. Give me Chris Carter. Give me Jerry Rice. Give me Steve Smith, even though Steve Smith is super fast, but he just learned that route tree really well. Give me fundamentally sound wide receivers, because they're going to always be in the league. They're going to always be in the league. I mean, just think about it. How is it that Tyler Lockett has stood the test of time out in Seattle? Golden Tate gone. Richardson gone. But he's always there. How? It's because out of the group, he was the best route runner. Didn't have the best hands, but the best route runner on the whole entire team. Fundamentally sound, still doing it at a high level. No matter who they bring in, none of them can't get on the field. Third down, need a play. Let me throw this ball in the middle of the field and slide. Tyler Lockett with the big catch. Give me a route runner. Give me that route runner over the freakish athlete. I mean, I'm just telling you, bigger. You 6'4", 220. You're bigger than a guy. You got to think about this. cornerbacks range between what? Now these days, you might get up to like 6'2", but we'll just say 6'1". So about 5'10" to like 6'1", 6'2", right? Weight about 180, probably capping off around 195, 200. And you're guarding a guy that's 225. Probably had a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle that day, so he 230. So you can't hit him up top, you know what I'm saying? Because he's just going to bounce off you. So you got to go at his legs, right, to get him down on the ground. So you're taking like extreme punishment. And all those hits, you ain't going to be able to like jump over. So keep on hitting that, hitting them legs, man. Like next thing you know, you out. But those little shifty guys, man, the Cooper Cups, them type of dudes be around for a long time. Because, they can beat you on that route, but you can still make that tackle. So give me fundamentally sound. Give me that guy that fundamentally sound. That wide receiver going to be around for a long time. I mean, unless you like Ted Ginn and Deshaun Jackson, like your speed just never left you. They speed just never left. They just decided, that's enough, man. I'm good. But other guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, fundamentally sound, they be around for a long time. Exactly, Larry. We know nothing until games are played. I have a real opinion about 6 games in. Yeah, I mean, look, I just say have a wait and see approach about the team. I'm going to take a few more and then we'll go ahead and get up out of here. Been hearing good things about Rattler. Can't wait to see him in preseason. Yeah, Vincent, I heard some really good things about him too. Made some really good plays, really good throws. So it's really good to hear positive things about these players, man. And and shouts out to Jake Hayner. I know they said he had a rare form of skin cancer. So it's good to know that it is not life-threatening of anything like that. So, shouts out to him, man. Jake Hayner is a competitor. I think that iron sharpens iron, and I think that whoever gets that backup job, they're going to earn it. They're going to earn it, so good luck to both of them. I'm hearing really positive things about both quarterbacks, not just Spencer Rattler, but Jake Hayner as well. And that's a testament to Jake Hayner too, because Rattler came in with a lot of fanfare. Like a lot of people was like, man, like Spencer Rattler, man, he the future of the team. Jake Hayner said, nah, bro, you ain't going to forget about me like that. So he stepped it up, man. And I say, man, I stand by this. I don't know if football work out for Jake Hayner. He might, be in a league career backup, might get some starting job somewhere, a spot. But I think he's gonna be a coach one day. It would not surprise me if Jake Hayner in a couple of years like be a head coach of a football team. Like the way that he absorbed the offense and how much of a savant he is, like those are the type of guys that end up becoming head coaches. So it wouldn't surprise me in like the next 10 years, like Jake Hayner is a coach or a coordinator somewhere in college or even in the pros. TJ, do you think after 2 years will Mickey extend Derek Carr's contract again? Derek is 33 now. Drew played until his late 30s. Well, we gotta be careful with that, Linda. And I say that because we look at certain guys like the Drews, like the Toms, like the Aarons, who played well into their 30s. I mean, still playing at a high level, even in their 40s. And now we're looking at that as the status quo. No. All right. Everybody ain't built the same. Everybody ain't gonna be playing well into their 40s. We seen what happened with Phillip Rivers. We seen what happened with Matt Ryan. It's not always like that. It's special guys that do that. Now, to me personally, nothing against Derek. Like I'm saying this strictly, just as a person that is looking at the future. You extend them only if you feel like you ain't got the right guy. If you feel like you can actually get the right dude, then I say no. I say don't. If you look at the draft or you look around the landscape and you still don't feel comfortable in the fact that you have the guy to take the Saints to the next level or keep the Saints competitive, then extend him. Because like it or not, he's still the best quarterback on his team. Like rather y'all want to admit that or not, or accept it or not, he's still the best quarterback on the Saints roster. So it depends. Like it depends on if you feel like you got the right guy in the building. You drafted 2 guys back to back at the same position at quarterback. So if those guys don't work out, you don't feel comfortable with Haener or Rattler, you're going to have to do what you have to do in order for you to stay competitive. And hopefully, like, you find yourself like drafting, the next future quarterback of this team. It's not as easy as people may think that it is, folks. It's not easy finding a franchise quarterback. There's a reason why Tua Tagovailoa was, like extended by the Miami Dolphins. Like, when was the last time you seen a Miami Dolphins quarterback extended with anything? Ryan Tannehill, they shipped him to Tennessee. Like, it's been a minute since they had a true franchise quarterback that they broke the bank with. They didn't break the bank with no Tannehill, but Tua they did. So you got to go back to Dan Marino, late 90s, before you had stability at the quarterback position. So it's not very easy to find. You got some organizations that find lightning in a bottle, like the Green Bay Packers, seem like the Indianapolis Colts. Even with them, they go from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was supposed to be the guy. He abruptly retired. So you had that void right there. You bring in Phillip Rivers, you bring in Matt Ryan, right? And then all of a sudden, now you got Anthony Richardson, and for those 5 games, he looked like he's going to be all right, as long as he stay healthy. So you have some teams that can catch lightning in a bottle, and they just continue to find success at the quarterback position. But it's not very easy, man. There's only a few of them in the league that consistently find that future guy back to back to back. You don't really see that. TJ, you think we get an all black color rush uni this year? I don't know. I mean, if they did, it would be nice. Kubiak will create an offense that will have the same starting games fast, meaning scoring on opening drives. Believe Saints had only one opening, scoring drive touchdown last season. Now, that is true. And it can't get any worse, Dark Side. Can't get any worse, man. Like, so the only way you got to go is up, right? That's the only place you got to go is up. Eric, when you were down, like, you're down, so the only thing you can do is look up. So hopefully better things offensively are ahead for the New Orleans Saints. But let's see. I'll read 2 more and then we'll go ahead and call it a show, folks. Pelican Nola says, I'm going to the week 1 matchup against the Carolina Kitty Cats, and we better win. Yeah, I heard that from Pelican Nola. He said, y'all better win. I think the Saints might try for a little Arch Manning. Well, I hope. I hope I ain't got to be dealing with this for the next, 3 years. Look, I don't know, man. Arch Manning does not strike me as a quarterback that's gonna leave college early. Like, he seemed like he gonna be able to see it through. I mean, come on, why would he need to leave college? He won't start making money. I mean, he came from money, man. He came from privilege and means. I'm not saying, he's a pampered kid or something like that. He seemed like he pretty level-headed. But all I'm saying is, like, you're going to be sucking for 3 years, because you already got Quinn Ewers that's already there. So when he leaves, then Arch Manning comes in, right? So Arch Manning would be like a junior during that time. So he's going to play 1 year and then play another year. So you're looking at what, 2028 before you get your hands on Arch Manning? I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. That's a lot. That's a lot of suckage right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of bad football that you have to get into before you find Arch Manning. I can tell you that right now. TJ, are you concerned about player health already? Nah, not really, man. I mean, guys are going to get hurt. I know that sounds like messed up to say, but it's the truth. Like, it's football. It's 100% injury rate. Guys are going to get injured. So, but I mean, it's always a concern. It's always a concern, King Arthur. I just hope that they just do the right things to keep these guys as healthy as possible in a physically demanding sport. Any update Kamara contract news? Nah, I heard that, a contract was offered. I heard a contract was offered. Don't know the severity of it yet. Don't know if both parties agreed to it, but I heard that one was issued. But I just want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. I really do appreciate it, man. And I'm really excited. State of the Saints podcast this season will be partnering with BetUS. BetUS, similar to DraftKings, FanDuel. I'm really excited about that, man. It's one of my very first big partnership deals that I've done. I've done little sponsorships, but this one right here, it seems like they really are, respecting the brothers' hustle, and I really appreciate that, man. BetUS.com, you get 125% off your first 3 deposits. And throughout the football season, man, I'm going to be giving away 25 of them things each month to one lucky New Orleans Saints member, where you can actually use on their site, be able to play for free. All right. So always play responsibly. Of course, I got to mention that. But shouts out to BetUS, a sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast this season. And also, want to let everybody know you can check out the Gumbo Pod Sports podcast that's available right now with yours truly, breaking down some of the hottest topics in all the sports. Right now, we're doing a 32 teams in 32 days. We've been underway for quite some time, man. We only got a few more teams to cover. We're covering the AFC North right now. Just put out a video on the Gumbo Pod on the Pittsburgh Steelers, breaking down their 2024 season. On tomorrow, on Tuesday, we'll be covering the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow was out for the season last year, really affected the Cincinnati Bengals. How will they fare out in 2024? Then we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns on Wednesday, and finally the champs, the Baltimore Ravens, on Thursday. Then after that, we just got the AFC West and NFC West to cover. So make sure you check out the Gumbo Pod Sports podcast with yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. I might do something tonight on that channel, just talking about a few topics. A lot of people want me to talk about the Olympics and the opening of that, whatever the hell that was. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about that, and maybe, what I'm saying, we gotta see. But thank you all so much. You can check out previous episodes of this podcast, of course, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Hopefully, if you were on the fence by the end of this show, you will hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. Thank you all for your love and your support, the ones that's been here throughout the years. And if you're new, thank you for your support as well. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.